YouTube is right, Phillips. Look at this. We've got the FlyWing FW450. This thing came for us as ready to fly, and it's got a huge battery. Check this out. Look how easy that is. Flight controller. There's actually more stuff back here, lots of servos. And this is a 4S 5,000 milliamp hour battery. We got 2 in our kit. It's all in one kit. This thing is GPS, everything. It's like a drone basically. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you the function, and we actually filmed last night too, and we had good experiences, a little bit less windy, but these FlyWings, if there's one thing we've learned that's amazing, is they'll fly in nearly every conditions. I think they said 10 meters per second, about 22 miles per hour limit, and you'll see. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna try to get you guys a good view of this. It's locked, there's a touch screen on here, so you can go into the settings and change stuff if you want, but they do recommend not changing it. Go to run, down and out. I don't know if the GPS is still tracking actually. Go to GPS mode, down and out. Oops, I gotta be in stop. Then run, then down and out. And it might be that we just haven't actually found GPS. And there is a small light on the right side, very back. It's on the top of the controller. It's very small. It's gonna be hard to see in the sunlight. But what I'm gonna do real quick while we're kind of between stuff is I'm gonna show you this normal and invert button. We had to hook up our helicopter to our computer, and we show that right before the Unbox build radio setup, and that's gonna allow us to do the inverted feature. You're supposed to do it 10 meters or more above the ground before it's supposed to be active, and it's supposed to be in GPS mode, okay? So we'll hopefully be able to accomplish that. We put it on the easy mode versus the professional mode. Right. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'll safely approach. I've got the stop on, and I'm just gonna look for a light. Yep, it's still flashing red, or at least orange. Okay. So it's still looking for a GPS signal. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna show you a trick. This is something I also found out. If you go to 3D while you're in stop, you can see the controls move. So you can move the swash plate, okay? So that's very helpful if you're trying to establish whether or not you can take off and to test your controls. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and try this again. We're gonna go down to run, sticks down and out. You can actually tell it's about ready to start because the tail rotor will fire up. So we'll pause and wait for GPS and come back and tell you how long it took. Yep. So down and out, and held it for a while, then I flipped it to run. Okay, so my apologies guys. Okay, watch how fast this gets off the ground. Absolutely no problems, and it's rock solid performance already, which is so cool, and that thing has some presence in the sky with that bright green. Admittedly, we waited a while for it this time, but I think I was doing it wrong. I was trying to go down to run to start it, because once you've started, you can put it in run and immediately initiate. So as you can see, the thing is rock solid, even in the wind. Look how little the movement is. I am trying to walk that way. Now watch this, I'll bring it down. Guys, this is ground effect, and look how good it does in ground effect, guys. Hands off. You don't usually get that with your flight controllers. Pretty amazing stuff. Okay, up and out. Let's go to the bull for a minute. Very turbulent wind, camera crew right there is fine. So we'll just fly this thing around. If you guys are big on flying helis, but you don't want the flight controller involved, this heli will let you do that. Did you see how much the tail stopped on that turn? Yeah. Holy cow. It is really windy. See the tail like totally stops. That's so cool. Okay, so now what I wanted to do, I was about here last night, 10 meters up. I'm gonna flip the invert, and I'm gonna see if it'll invert. Holy crap, that is amazing. Wow. Holy cow. And then up and down, it's the same as what we had before. That is so weird. Okay, so you're literally flying it just like a normal helicopter, except it happens to be upside down, and that is amazing. Okay, guys, just because that is so amazing. I am definitely not doing that. It is the flight controller that's doing it. Okay, I'm gonna flip back over. It's so cool. Guys, look, all I do, whoop. That is amazing. Holy cow. Okay, now, the only reason I'm so enthralled by that is because I realize how challenging it is to really do that. And so if you want to get this thing down to the ground, pull down elevator and up elevator and down on the throttle, and you'll get it to the ground quicker than if you just pull down on the throttle. Of course, that'd be the cyclic and the collective. I'm so used to airplanes, guys, and you know it. But look, I'm gonna go do this next to the windsock, just to give you an idea. I don't want to chop up my windsock. By the way, those are kite tails, okay? So invert yourself. That is so amazing, guys. That is so amazing. Look at this, guys. I'm not even looking. It's so crazy. And I accidentally went to home here, so all I have to do is just go back to GPS, and then I can keep flying like I was. And by the way, if you have accidentally bumped the home button, don't worry. You can just keep flying it as usual, and you'll just have to overwhelm the controls. The only one you won't be able to overwhelm is on final. You won't be able to overwhelm the down because it's gonna bring it to the landing zone, okay? That is just so much fun, guys. And I am not a heli pilot. Let's just get one thing totally straight. I'm an airplane pilot, and I fly helicopters for fun once in a while. But that is a very turbulent area. If we were to walk down there, you wouldn't hardly be able to hear us because the wind. The camera crew's hair is blowing. It is not calm. So you know what it makes me want to do? It kind of makes me want to go on a little nature walk with this thing. So yeah, you guys are going to want to turn on that feature. It is so cool, and we are getting really confident with this thing, and that's when people get hurt. So then you do stupid things like you walk up to it like, I want to touch it. Don't do it. Resist the temptation. And guys, we're in the wash from the building here, and we are downwind of it right now. Just to give you an idea, that is incredible. There is tons of wind right here. Andrew and ground effect, look at that. Amazing. And if you guys are heli pilots and you're looking at this thinking, Brian, that's really not that amazing. You know what? All I'm gonna say is I've seen helicopters, I've crashed them. I know what it looks like when I get close to the ground and crash. Pretty good speed, even with stabilizing and GPS mode. That is so sweet. Good passes, good speed, really high throttle. Bring it up here. What is all over the neighbor's yard over there?
They plant trees.
Oh, must have. Well, that's nice. Maybe they're expecting to lose a bunch of trees like we probably are too, by digging a giant pond. That is, if we can get an appropriate bid. Let's walk out there a little bit. Okay, so guys, what do we know about FW right now? I have claimed several different things, and the different things are this. If you want to learn to fly, this is probably going to be a good middle ground. I don't think it's going to be the easiest plane, or not plane, the easiest heli in the world, but it is definitely easy compared to the others that we've flown. It's easier than the Spectrum offerings or the Horizon offerings, but it is also pretty expensive for the size class, so just keep that in mind. I don't have a problem with the price if it works, and I also feel like this thing is rock solid compared to what we got from FW last time, which was still quite amazing. And also the way that this inverts in easy mode is very, very easy. In fact, I'm gonna just do it right here. That is so cool. And then as you can see, you can still control the heli just as though you were flying it before. And that is so cool. I'm being a little bit delicate on the sticks, admittedly. Okay, now I'm gonna flip back over. It's just so stinking cool. Okay, now guys, you wanna see how terrible it looks when I do it? One big drawback, watch this guys. I have to use my mouth to manipulate the sticks, okay? I'm in 3D now, so this is yours truly flying it. And then back to GPS. And I'm gonna bring it down. So if you guys think that looked better, you're crazy. Now, of course you can fly it in 3D and really, fly a helicopter. Look at the rotor. It's stopping in that one vector. That is so cool. And then look, it's just so Johnny on the spot with the controls. When you let off, it's like, nope, I've got control. In fact, I'm so tempted to chop the grass a little bit. Can we cut the grass a little bit? Are you thinking this is a pretty good video? You don't want to ruin it?
Terrible idea.
When you're close to the ground like that, just remember that tail boom might roll down and chop something you're not expecting. See what I'm talking about? So I gave it a little altitude. Don't worry, it's got it under control. And by the way, that is a very windy, very turbulent area right there. And I am taking away a lot of its authority by giving it full command to spin. And look at that, that is amazing. All I'm doing is just going below center or above center. And look at that, it just holds that vector in position. That is amazing. I am loving how rock solid this FW450 is. It gives even a guy like me confidence. Okay, so how about this? Let's flip it here. How about that? You good? That is so dang cool. I wanna see what happens if I bring it down. Okay guys, you got my back, right? You'll tell them that I did this, it was a total manufacturing defect, right? Okay, we're gonna cut the grass. We're gonna cut the grass, oh buddy. See, and I'm not a skilled pilot here, guys. Yep, cut grass. That is so cool, guys. Oh man, that's so cool. Talk about a confidence boost. Now I'm gonna think I can do it with anything, and I totally cannot.
And is that a concern?
Hey, do we have enough for nature walk? Let's nature walk a little bit.
I don't think so, because we don't know how it's going to respond at low battery.
Oh, it's okay. It's going to try to go to home. So let's just take it on a quick nature walk.
Hey.
The nature walk is a dangerous thing around here. I'll let you know if I'm doing something aggressive, like turning around. So this is incredibly turbulent air here. Look at all the trees. Look at all the crap that we have to deal with. Look at the change with the objects like our house and buildings and structures. This is a real testament to flight controller ability, guys. And look, I'm right next to it and total confidence. Let's fly it through that hole. Camera crew, you good? Let's come down here and get a cool view from this angle, okay? This is a very, very complicated area. Lots of wind, lots of turbulence, lots of opportunity for failure. And you'll notice I have an upward exit strategy just in case the GPS fails. Camera crew down here, if you would, kind of toward the edge. Okay, I'm gonna fly through this opening. And as you can see, the gyro, the stabilizer is rock solid. And I'm trying to bring it through that opening up there. And those are some big trees and there is a lot of wind. Guys, I would never, ever, ever, ever do that without stabilization and GPS on, okay? That is so freaking cool. Holy cow. Just to give you an idea of the scale, folks, I'm probably 30 feet above those trees, maybe 40, and we're just bringing it back down. What a cool, cool thing. All right, so camera crew and I are gonna walk back now just because she's probably correct. We flew it down and we got a 14-minute flight. 14 minutes, guys. I hope that doesn't include a bunch of setup time, but there's even a timer on this system. I'm a little nervous to go home right now. I don't want it to whack into the side of the house. I think it would be intelligent enough not to do that, but I am gonna go ahead and really push the limits here by flying out. Okay, let's see, let's go home. Home, just flip that switch up. That is so cool. Okay. So if you guys love helis and you've wanted to fly one for your entire life, or maybe you fly real helicopters and you don't have the skill to fly radio controlled, this thing would do the ticket all day long. Here, you can film from there. Go over there so you can see it from the side. That is so cool, guys. Stop. I mean, that is a cool experience, and it's not hard. The camera crew could fly this. We're doing it. She says no. She says no. She's shaking her head no. All we need to do is just go up.
Nope.
We don't have to, all you do is just go up and then put it back to home. Okay, so she's gonna fly now. You guys ready?
No.
Here she goes. She doesn't want to fly. She's very upset right now. She's like, don't make me fly.
With you.
So listen, all we're gonna do is go back over here. I have to demonstrate how dang good this is. Okay, so first things first, go to run, okay? Go to GPS. Okay, sticks down and out, and then nothing else, just wait and hold. Okay, if that doesn't work, start from stop. Okay, let go of the sticks and stop. Run, now down. There you go. Okay, now stand back. You can let go of the sticks. Let go of the sticks. Okay, now listen, all we're gonna do, this is just like a little drone. We're gonna basically wait for it to spool up for a second. Okay, now go push the stick up a little bit until it goes up about 15 feet. So it's up a ways from us. Go up higher. Okay, stop. Now, go ahead and fly out from us just a little bit. Okay, now use the yaw with the throttle to turn the aircraft so it's pointed into the wind. Other way. There you go. Good job. Okay, now just pull the stick down and see if you can land it. Real slow. Don't worry about corrections. Just let the thing correct itself. Just put the stick down slow but sure. Hold the stick all the way down and then hit stop. You did it.
I'm so mad.
She hated that. She was shaking her head like crazy. Okay, so we're gonna fly some more. Here we go, guys. If it doesn't start spinning the tail rotor, you haven't initiated the sequence to start. So that's how you can tell. Wait a few seconds. Sounds like a turbine spooling up. That's so cool. And then give her heck when you're ready. Now, I wanna show you one more feature. We showed this last night, but I'm gonna do the 0 flight and the 8 flight. So 0 flight means it goes in a circle, and it will go in a real circle. It's not gonna go in some artificial, like sort of like tell it to turn. It's gonna actually complete a circle. You wanna go film it from the bottom? I'm gonna go into figure 8 just to make it more interesting. You guys will be able to see there's an actual figure 8 going on here. Let's find the middle of the figure 8 and stand in it. I think it's here. Nope, it's here.
Right there.
Here's the center. Of course, the sun is right there, but I'm standing in the center for reference. It's gonna go right over us. Oh, that is so stinking cool. Oh my goodness. It's such a stupid cool feature. Like, who cares if it does a figure 8 without me even holding the control? I'm not even looking. Okay, all right, let's come back. That was amazing, guys. This is such a sweet heli.
Does it just keep doing the figure 8?
Yeah.
Do you switch it?
It'll just keep doing it. Okay, so I'm back to normal flight mode, and here's what I wanna do. I wanna bring this down closer to the ground, okay? This is where helicopters suffer. Anybody who has flown helicopters knows that in low pressure, they do weird things. And so I'm gonna go over by our hay pile and really test fate. Tempt fate, okay? So look at this, guys. In ground effect, right in front of a pile of garbage. You see the shadow? We are really close to that pile, folks. And I'm completely hands off. That is incredible. Okay, here we go. Now, okay, now that we've done all that, I'm gonna go ahead and go into 3D mode for just a quick sec. I have to be prepared to do it with my mouth, which I hate. Okay, so flying this thing in 3D is not that hard, it's just that I'm so chicken. So I can control and manipulate this thing just fine. And that's about the best you get from Brian Phillips RC right there. So far, at least. and then back into GPS, and you have full confidence that you're gonna get that expensive heli back. Amazing. Look at it humping, look at it humping. Little over correction from the gyro. And that's because I was forcing it down and it was trying to keep heading. And this thing hasn't even complained about the battery being low yet, which just weirds me out because look at how solid it is still. One thing they do warn you about is make sure you don't fly this thing. I'm gonna fly under the flag, guys, just to show you how crazy this thing is. It's under the flag like it doesn't even know the wind is happening. I just went over the fence line. You can tell from the shadow. But one thing it does warn you about is going inverted while you're at lower batteries, because return to home will not happen if you're inverted, okay? So if you decide to do inverted less than 10 meters, they say that it could destroy itself. Yeah, duh. You know what else could destroy a heli? Not knowing how to fly. You know what else could destroy a heli? Having a crappy gyro stabilization. What else could destroy a heli? Having inferior components. What else could destroy a heli? A bad battery. So folks, if you've never flown a heli and you've never flown it in high wind like this, then you've found an option here. So if you live in a windy environment and you're used to just slope soaring, this thing might be the ticket, folks. And look at this, I am not landed. I'm at like an inch off the ground. That is incredible, folks. Being in ground effect like that, most helis can't do it. You wanna know what would happen if we return to home on right now?
It'd go up.
You think so? Let's try it.
Oh, you're on the ground now.
Wait, did it land? I got pushed into the ground, did I? There you go. Okay, let's go home. So as you can see, it went up. They always like to go up because they want to get to a safe height. Then they'll get their position right. And I'm not sure why it points the tail that way, because it happened to point the tail that way in our last video. Very weird. You hear the noise? The resonance? Mm-hmm. That is so cool. It's taken a long time to get down.
It's getting windier than when we started.
Yeah.
Here, we show them though. See the wind
it's not blowing off course as much as it might seem. It's just, you get nervous when you're out there right next to it. But I gotta say, guys, this thing is I mean, it's one of the best helis we've done. And I gotta say, it's also one of the biggest, so that does attribute some to my, I'm gonna go to stop right now and I'm gonna go back to home. Everything is in the up sticks. I feel like this thing is more intuitive than any of the other controllers we've used. It's easier to flip inverted. It's easier to fly inverted. It does a better job of flying inverted. It flies for longer. It flies without any sort of hesitation, which is good. We have a better power to weight ratio than we've seen on some other helis. It's not direct drive. Not direct drive. That's one thing. It is a direct drive tail rotor, but that's pretty normal for being a brushless tail motor. It is a brushless on front and back, but there is a gear setup. So some people like gears, some people don't. I think most people prefer direct drive, but if you have a gear, you can replace that if something goes wrong. If you have a motor that's direct drive and something goes wrong, you might be replacing the motor instead of just replacing a cheap gear. So I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to all of that. What I can definitely say is this thing is incredible. It's probably the most high performance helicopter we've done yet, and there's more on the way at Brian Phillips RC. So we want you guys to know the best way to support us is smash the like button, click the bell for notifications, subscribe if you haven't already, and then buy these things from the links. That's what we really want you to do if you want to support us financially. Of course, we want to say a special thanks to our Patreons who are there every month, supporting us with anywhere from $1 up to, you know, like 50 or 60 bucks. It's pretty crazy. And we appreciate you guys. It really does help. You're helping to keep the wheels under our car, which is nice. Also, if you ever wanted to be a Patreon, all you have to do is follow the link down below. They'll step you through the process. It's really easy. And just my suggestion is, if you want a one-time gift, then PayPal's the best way, or super thanks is super easy to do that. You can just throw us a couple bucks. But really, we still, and we say this every time we say anything about supporting us financially, we'd rather you buy airplanes, helis, quads, the stuff we review, boats, cars, trucks, crawlers, you know, leaf blowers.
E-bikes.
E-bikes. Everybody loves a good e-bike. But either way, if you guys are buying these things from our links, it helps support the whole ecosystem we have going here, because we couldn't buy all this stuff. We don't have enough money to do it. We would love to have enough money to buy new helicopters and airplanes every 3 or 4 days. But it is the reality, and we want to bring you guys so much footage, and we want to bring it the best footage that we possibly can, and we hope that you guys are agreeing that we're doing that. We also don't want to bring shorts, because shorts are basically to us just like entertainment stuff. Entertainment's fun, everybody wants entertainment, and I have nothing against doing entertainment shows and videos, but what we do here is more about, is the thing gonna work? Because anything looks great online, but we put it into context, and then even the highs might be washed out by the lows. And that's what we do on Brian Phillips RCs. We bring you a real robust review of each and every item we do, and hopefully that helps bring value in your life, and it'll bring value to the manufacturers. If you buy it from the links, they'll know that we helped, and then everybody wins. So that's why we ask. We don't try to hide behind any of that. We're not trying to pretend to be something we're not. We love this stuff. Well, I love this stuff. The camera crew tolerates this stuff. If there was less in her living room, in her kitchen,
she would tolerate
it better. So we need to get a building built so I can move some of the stuff out of our basement, which is getting really full. But it's a good problem to have, and I love that problem. And we know you guys love this stuff too, and that's why you're watching the videos. So if you want to help support us, Brian Phillips RC and my family of 6, and my wonderful wife of many years who films and very reluctantly occasionally flies. Just full disclosure, she usually crashes. Today, it lives.
That's true.
It's like Resurrection Sunday, except it's not quite yet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this footage, and we hope you guys have a great spring, happy Easter, and all that stuff. We are here to serve you and not them. But if you buy the stuff from the links, you help all of us. So we appreciate you doing it. And at the end of the day, that thing is pretty dang cool. Show them one more view. Let's give them one more close up. Just an amazing heli. What a cool example of what can be done with technology today. And if you didn't already see it, look how easy this is. Unplugged, battery out. That's how easy it is. And that thing is not puffed, not even a little bit. And yes, when you do inevitably watch the Unbox build radio setup, you'll see that there's a USB-C right there. It's very easy to set up. The feature, it basically forces you to acknowledge some sort of a warning that says, hey, if I do something stupid, it's my own fault. Okay. By the way, if I didn't mention, this is FlySky and FlySky receiver. We don't have much experience with FlySky, but they are very inexpensive and they have a lot of features. It's the first time we've had a touchscreen on a transmitter that I know of, or maybe we have one more. I think we might have one other time.
We had one we thought was gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, this boom comes off in like 2 seconds. I know I'm gonna show a lot of this, but I just wanna show you this in the highlights. See how quick that comes out? Amazing, right? And it's got this XT30 style end, except it's like an ESC. So I don't know what they call the 3-pin style. But then you just have this like gaping hole that you can stick something long and skinny into. So those are always exciting. But you slide that in, got a latch, you're done. Tail's set up, ready to rock and roll. If the tail doesn't wake up, you didn't stick it in deep enough. So you might want to check on that. And I'm pretty sure they have some technology to verify. You can also hear it chime and sing the song when it initiates, okay? So absolutely amazing aircraft here, the FW450 by FlyWing. And why does it say FW450 backward over here? That's very weird.
Oh, it does.
That is so strange. Why would they do that? Probably because they couldn't read it the other way. But anyway, guys, this thing is amazing. I think you're gonna love it. And I think you should seriously consider getting yourself one if you're even remotely interested in helis. It's probably the nicest one we've ever had. And it is definitely one of the bigger ones we've ever had. The 330 was the closest we've had, the 330S by Blade. And it was very good too. But I feel like this thing definitely adds an edge to the easiness factor. However, and I'm gonna say this like I've said about both FWs so far, and that is, if you wanna learn to fly a helicopter, stabilization and not auto leveling is a good tool. And we do have that in 3D flight here, but you're very highly dependent on GPS. You can't really take off without it. But once you're in the air, you can shut it off and do whatever you want. Big drawback to me, okay? So if you're doing indoor flying, I have no idea how that works. I'm not sure if you can shut that off, but I can definitely say this, I really like this. I'm not flying this inside myself. It's very powerful. It's gonna be a little bit more than most inside spaces could handle, unless of course you're talking about a big gymnasium or something like that. And then also one other detail, just because I feel like this is so much better than our night video, we almost just,
well, I'm sure.
we'll put it after the unbox.
Yeah,
we'll put it after the unbox.
For sure.
But I was just gonna say, this thing went together so easy. It was set up so easy. And if you add the, you know, turning on the invert mode, it was so easy, which makes me think the last heli we did, we probably have to plug it in and do the same thing. Because remember, we couldn't get it to invert either.
Oh.
But anyway, this thing is awesome, folks. I know you want one. Buy from the links and stay tuned. We're gonna show you exactly how to stick the thing into the other thing, and then there'll be an unbox build radio setup next. Stay tuned, so much more from Brian Phillips RC. All right, so we just got inside from flying, and we're gonna show you the setup here in just a second, but I forgot to mention what type of voltage we had left. That is totally reasonable. We flew that thing for a long time.
Yeah, like almost 20 minutes maybe?
And wind like that,
yeah,
it might as well be a 30-minute flight. I mean, that's incredible amount of flight time from one battery. And this is probably one of the biggest payloads we've ever seen in our helis. So we do have another battery. Ours came with two, full disclosure, but this is the one we were flying it on because it's got the weird strappy doohickey on it. So guys, so much more, stay tuned. All right, so we just showed the battery voltages and stuff, and now I was like, we really probably need to show people how to turn on this feature because we want to try it in daylight. So if you've already seen us fly this thing and flip this switch to invert and get the helicopter to actually fly inverted, I want you to see what we had to do to actually get that function because it didn't come that way that we can tell. And there is a plug back here, and it's a USB-C. They actually give you this adapter plug, okay? So it goes right there, okay? So I don't know if the thing needs to be energized, and I would like it to not be energized, preferably. And just to maximize safety, I'm gonna leave it unplugged. This is the software that I downloaded from the website. FlyWing has an English website, and they have English and Chinese, okay? So then we went to download and we scrolled all the way to the bottom and we downloaded this, okay? So in order to get this, we made a folder that's just this FlyWing stuff. And so we are gonna open this and we might need to extract it. So we'll just extract the document, extract all, good enough. Okay, you don't need to show all this. All right, so we extracted it, and then we'll just go in here, and we'll just show you a little bit better. So there's driver, the German, Japanese, manual English, and then this is the actual H1 Pro, okay? So I think this just has drivers, so we'll see what happens when I click on it. It may automatically install. We'll pause and see what happens. So we just got a Windows warning. And then basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back one layer and just try this. Should start an installation because it is an application. Okay, so don't run, or like more info, run anyway. Okay, so we'll pause while this runs. Okay, so this is the application here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to full screen this. I don't know if it'll full screen, so we'll just put it like that. So you can see this is asking for a port, okay? So there's obviously no connection yet. So you may have to go, it didn't find it, okay? So we're gonna go back like this so you can see. And this is the cable that came with, so it's USB-A to USB-C. There's USB-C, okay? So I'm just gonna plug it into the USB port on this computer, and if something weird happens, it shouldn't, but just in case it does, I don't want to energize this yet until I know I have to, okay? So I'm going to plug it in. USB-C's ambidextrous, it doesn't matter. It seems to come to life. There's drivers that will almost surely install. There's a flashing red and green light over here. Okay, so that's always nice. And so now what I want to do is I want to see if I can figure out, oh, looks like it automatically assigned to port 3. So we'll grab COM 3. You have to click connection. It should say connect. Okay, cool. So we've got the total flight time. That's pretty cool. Let's let it connect. 14 minutes. That's so cool.
Cool.
And then you can go to the different parameters. Main rotor. What? If the bomber breaks the steering arm? What the heck? Parameter. Sensor. Okay. Main. And this is where you can set up your different modes. Okay, right there. Keep it there. We'll just try to do this. No RX signal. So I don't know if this will work right now because, okay. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna work because we don't have the thing actually on, okay? So I'm not worried about that, but we can power it if we really wanted to. Inverse flight is off. I'm gonna turn it on. How to use and disclaimer, okay? So set the auxiliary 9 channel of the remote control. Channel 9 is a 2-stage switch for 1 key forward flight or invert flight in order to roll safely when the helicopter is flying at a height of 10 meters or more. The switch forward invert switching is effective. 3D mode flight is invalid, only works in GPS auto stabilized mode, which is here. Okay. After 1 key invert flight, you can control the flight action and altitude of the helicopter. If you want to switch back to the forward flight mode, you need to fly the helicopter to 10 meters or more to switch on. In inverted state, low battery return will not work. Please drive your helicopter carefully and keep enough power due to the fierce rolling. Okay, it is recommended to set the throttle at more than 75 to ensure adequate rolling force and avoid helicopter crash. This function is a dangerous blah, 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 whatever. Okay. 75%, it's already set there. Normal or professional? We're gonna do easy, okay? So that's all you have to do. And then when you're done with that, I don't even know if there's anything we have to do other than just disconnect. So let's disconnect and then let's see what happens. You can see there's a little flashy light here. I'm gonna unplug this device from the helicopter. Now, to confirm that it's done, I'm gonna plug it back into the device, which would be the flight controller in this case. Okay, it's plugged in. Boop, 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 boop. Connection. Now watch what should happen. It should populate all this data. Okay, read configuration, and if this goes to off, then we know we never save the changes. It'd be nice to have something that says save changes. Okay, so it's still there. So I trust that it's been turned on. So now at this point, we are gonna be good to go so we can actually use the inverted flight function. And I just wanna read one more disclaimer. And it says, this function is a test function. Due to the different performance and power of each helicopter, the rolling effect may be slightly different by default. In the software, if the height of the helicopter is less than 10 meters above the ground, this function cannot be turned on. If the user operates this function below 10 meters above the ground, the user shall bear the adverse effects and consequences caused by the use of this function, such as helicopter failure. Okay, so that's always super comforting, but at the same time, this is a pretty sophisticated device and I trust it. I don't know why, but I do. Well, I do know why, because I've seen it fly and I've been in close proximity to it. And by the way, that was a pretty painless process. Literally, it's just like giving you one more chance to find out that you aren't actually gonna be able to blame them. So I guess it's not such a terrible thing.
The only thing that was tricky really was figuring out what we were supposed to download.
Yeah, that was the hardest part.
Because there's a bunch of manuals, so you have to actually look for the H1 flight controller.
Yep, because they don't really indicate that. And by the way, they suggest going to something that says like software, and that's not the link. Because once you go to the English side, it changes the link structure.
Yep.
So not a big deal, not anything that's insurmountable, but if you don't have a laptop computer or you don't have a desktop computer, then I don't know if you can even do it. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you want that feature, get your buddy to help you. It's really easy. It took like literally a few seconds. Yeah. So not a big deal. And FlyWing so far, pretty impressive. And yes, they have some other helicopters and we would like to do those too. And we probably will. So very cool. Only complaints are the same complaints, and that is I'm not a good enough heli pilot. And as a result, I'm too chicken to actually flip it into 3D and fly it like it should be. Because once that happens, it's gonna be really fun. But at this point, I'm just kind of learning and working through the steps to get better and better. Now, without further ado, not sure if this is gonna follow at the end of the Unbox build radio setup, but we haven't actually showed that feature. So we are gonna try to get some footage tomorrow if weather is reasonably cooperative. You don't need amazing weather to fly this thing, which is super premium about this. And some of the drone helis that we've flown in the past, like that little one over there and a few others that we've done, you can take them out and fly them in pretty high wind. But 10 meters per second, I don't exactly know how many miles per hour. In fact, hold on, I can ask Google. Google will tell me. Google tells me things that I ask. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second equals how many miles per hour? It was right there. 22.3693629.
Wow.
So goodness gracious,
That's
20 miles an hour. 22 miles an hour. But just keep in mind, guys, we have flown in a lot higher than that with various different planes, and 22 miles an hour is still a limitation. And I think you're gonna see that by how aggressive the tail corrects when you let go of the sticks. So without further ado, FW450 if you wanna help Brian Phillips RC, because these tutorial videos are helpful to you. Check out the links in the video description below. And when you buy these beauties, buy them from the links. You'll help support us. Stay tuned. More from Brian. YouTube, it's been a while, so we have a new box. You can tell from this one what it is, or maybe the thumbnail, but this is gonna be the unbox portion of the Unbox build radio setup in Maiden flight. So you've already seen it, and we haven't, so we have to guess how awesome it's gonna be.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's heavy for what it is. So I'm actually like really excited about this. And we have some other things in this arena that are coming soon. That is totally a bomb case. Feel that.
Oh, jeez.
Hopefully this isn't the end of Brian Phillips RC, but it's coming from FlyWing. So, you know, could be, we'll see. Okay, unlock. And if this is some like super huge sniper rifle, I am gonna, oh boy, even better and equally deadly. This is an autonomous flying heli from FlyWing. Look at that.
Huge.
That's what she said, literally.
I'm getting nervous.
Don't worry, you just have to film that thing spinning at hundreds or thousands of RPMs. And look, all you do is you stick the shaft into this hole. Oh. Yeah, that is huge. That is huge. Huge, and I know huge. Holy shnikes. Is that a 6S battery?
Is it for serious?
What?
No.
It's 5,000 milliamp hour. No, 4S.
4S.
Woo! But just saying, you know, they're getting bigger.
Whose idea was this?
Okay, so we have a charger here, FlyWing charger. It looks like the
standard
nope,
FlyWing.
Not standard. Oh my goodness, it comes with 2 batteries. Amazing.
That's crazy.
5,000 milliamp 4S. Yeah, 5,000 4S. Okay, so we're gonna charge this right now. We always start with the most boring things on Brian Phillips RC because we wanna make sure to retain the audience
helps with that
for as
retention
long as
rate.
possible.
Definitely.
And they have this nice little clip doohickey, which I love actually.
Both of them, or do you have
and then look, they actually gave us a toolkit. I must say, I'm actually quite impressed with this case. This is sweet. Like you could pack this thing up and take it with you wherever it is you're going.
You can fix your e-bike while you're out.
Maybe. So let's stick this in the hole. Whoa, wow. Hey, hold on. This looks so familiar to me.
That's why that looks familiar. Hey, they got a different order of letters.
Yuzhang FlyWing. Yuzhang FlyWing. Okay, so we're just gonna put this back over here. Just wanted to show you guys, sometimes things are the same and sometimes they're different. Okay, so there's a little poker hole here and then a bind plug. USB-A to USB-C, very high quality cable, that's nice. Thank you, FlyWing. And then we have a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, a 3, a 3.5, a 4, a 5, and a 6. That is really cool, actually. I like that. Okay, so let's stick this thing into that thing and see what comes out. Okay, so this is what you do. You're gonna stick this one into this thing. Boom. It's got a pretty tight squeeze to it. Oops, you gotta stick it in the right way. It is keyed.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that that's plugged in, it should tell us the nominal voltage and start charging from what I understand. Now let's look at what the charge rate's gonna be. Yeah, which it's not gonna say.
Is it on the end?
Nope. Okay, so we're gonna charge this one on a more conventional charger, and we're just gonna know that this stuff is sitting over here. So I'm gonna come over to one of our smart chargers. I'm gonna grab an adapter. Probably just do one like this because it's easy. Okay, so we got a little EC3 to XT60. Of course, this comes equipped with the XT60. And I'm gonna use this charger, admittedly, because I can charge it faster. And I'm gonna plug the balance lead in. And then as you can see, it populates immediately the screen. And since the camera crew is totally blocking my view, I'm gonna come over here and see if it says the C rating. It does not say the C rating, so I have to assume the 74 watts hours. Yeah, watt hours doesn't tell me anything because I'm not that good at math. So I'm gonna press and hold this. Currently we're at 1 amp. We could go up to, this is a 5,000 milliamp hour, so we go to 5 amps. Okay, 5 amps and 4S. Scroll down to start, and it's gonna charge. Now, if you ever have a smart charging battery that doesn't wanna charge for you or it stops short of the full current, what you can do is you can actually change your current level down so it will not saturate the cells and thus hit the set point quickly. So if you have a 5,000 milliamp hour and you set it to 5 amp hour and you realize like it overshoots and then it stops and then it comes back and relaxes to like 96% or 97% or 98, then instead of doing 5,000, do like 2.5 or 2,500 milliamps, so 2.5 amps, and see if that helps. If that doesn't help, go even slower. You'll probably catch it on just 2.5. All right, so just some factor. We have a nice transmitter in here. It's probably the nicest one we've seen from FlyWing. Yeah, definitely nicer than what we've seen in the past. That is sweet. Okay. The gimbals feel pretty nice. They're quiet. Stop. Run.
Hey.
Normal. Whoa. There's like normal, 0 fly, 8 fly. I have no idea what that means. Home, GPS 3D, normal, and invert with sliders. That is sweet. 2 power buttons because 1 is not good enough. And then we have, you can put your mouse in there. Actually, I have no clue what that is. And then there's a USB micro. That's weird. And then this takes 4 AA's. What does this say? Warning. This product is not suitable for children under 15 years. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. And then there's these things here, which are buttons. And then they've got a metal handle, which is very strange, but I do like it. Very clean setup. They folded the manual. Okay. And yeah, feels like we're missing something like a tail. That is so sweet. Hold on a second. Is this all plugged in? What the heck are all the plugs for? Oh, they're using they're using an iBus. Whatever that means. This is actually not a direct drive though. This has a FlyWing performance brushless motor, GDW 41 milligram. That's kind of weird. I've never seen sizing on servos that way. And then there's this release in here. Turn on the flash.
Oh, yep.
This is gonna set up so nice and easy. I mean, I'm super excited. We do have a direct drive brushless prop. Look how big and aggressive the prop is on the tail. And by the way, normally I drop these. I don't wanna drop it. Okay, is that fiberglass? I don't know, I think it's carbon fiber. Stick it in the hole. Oh, wow. That is so nice that it goes together that easy. I mean, it's like literally seconds. Okay, so we have blades to put on. Interestingly enough, this one didn't come with spare prop blades, or not prop blades, rotor blades. What kind of an airplane idiot am I? These are definitely rotors. Now, I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to keep this bag to slide them back in when we pack it. This plane, or helicopter in this case, is probably, oh my goodness, that is so gorgeous. Look at the finish on that. We've got that carbon fiber. It's actual carbon fiber, of course. That's probably a hollow core. I can't tell. That thing is, holy cow. Feel that. Twist it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nuts. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to get whacked in the face
really
with
glad
that.
That's going to be, near me.
Going hundreds of miles an hour.
Great.
It's no big deal. It's all part of the show, right? Here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to fly things sometimes a little bit close. We'll be careful. Helicopters make the camera crew a little bit nervous. They make me a little nervous too. So we're gonna put this back here. Amazing carrying case. What a weird looking body. And definitely looks very growly, okay? And it's super light when it's got no battery in it. So I'm excited to see this. This thing flies on, and we didn't even mention the protocol here, but it looks like it's a FlySky 2.4 gigahertz 6-channel receiver, and it looks like they just have like an iBus that goes into the flight controller. So really, all it is all 6 channels are being passed through the flight controller. So a lot of people ask us about FlySky. I know nothing about FlySky other than the fact that it runs a proprietary protocol. So that's all I know. And I don't really want to learn about another protocol necessarily, but they do exist. And I know people like them because they're very extraordinarily cheap. Now, I've learned in my life that sometimes cheap is better and sometimes cheap is not. Generally, cheap is not as good, but sometimes it's just as good, okay? I think I need this size for the prop. I'm gonna just use the provided tool, actually.
Okay.
Just to show people that it works. Yep, I got it right. Okay, I'm gonna sit down so I can get closer to this.
I'm gonna come to the other side so I'm not shadowing you.
Yeah, the sun is really kicking through right now. So the flight controller's up here. Look at this. See, there it is.
Oh.
3 through 6S power, but that's just for the flight controller. It's a 60 amp ESC. Are you kidding me? Wow, blown. Mind blown. This is just like a different echelon of danger than we're used to on Brian Phillips RC. And I know some of you guys are thinking, Brian, that's lame. I have helicopters that are way more deadly than that. I'm sure you do, for the record, but you're flying them and not me. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't fancy myself an amazing heli pilot, but I do fancy myself an aficionado of aircraft. I like the aircraft, and I have studied many of them. But that doesn't mean that you are a good pilot just because you like them. And I do like them, but I consider myself to be an inferior 3D flight performer, however you want to put that. Which direction do these go? Obviously not this way, so it's only going to be that way. I mean, it's got to be that way.
Well.
I know I feel kind of stupid saying that, but what does it say on there?
Wait, does it? Does it gotta be?
Does it gotta be? The FlyWing? The FlyWing is 100% up. It's gotta be.
No, but it could go on the other side though. Does it matter?
It would be the same. If that's up, it's always the same.
Okay.
So glad we got through that.
All right.
But
I am not an airplane aficionado.
Well, this
obviously.
isn't an airplane though.
True.
You got to stop calling it an airplane.
Because then you'll call it an airplane.
Calling it an airplane. So folks, we do a lot of airplanes on this channel. You may have noticed the piles in the background. Believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm not exaggerating.
Really?
We do review a lot of planes. We do a lot of helicopters too. The helicopters just are easier to store, frankly. And so they find holes in our house and they live in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The holes in our house aren't that big for all of those.
Good that we got that out of the way. So the FW450 is gonna be the biggest helicopter that I've done, okay? And I'm actually like super excited because I love that it comes apart easy. I love that, like when you fold this thing up, it's gonna be so dang small.
Yeah.
And honestly, it might be worth putting back in the case. Can you put it in the case with the
That's what I was gonna ask.
We'll check. As soon as we're done building it, we'll see if it slides in there. But like really easy assembly. I mean, really easy assembly. And I'm sure there's some people that are thinking to themselves, what a bad idea to have a self-flying helicopter of that size. Yes, and I'm calling this a self-flying helicopter because guys, let's be honest, it's a drone. It's not a helicopter because this thing will fly itself. The difference between this and other competitive offerings like this one over here, the scale heli that we did not too long ago, which had an interestingly similar charger, is the fact that that had a camera on it, right?
Yep, that one did.
And did that one have an application? I can't remember. I don't think it did. But some of these helis, they have full-blown phone apps you have to run and all sorts of crap. This one, we can come out of baby mode and go into crazy 3D mode. That one, you kind of can't. And I was like, are you serious? Because could we come out of it? You could fly it upside down, but it was like a coordinated, stabilized
right,
auto
it wasn't
leveling.
you doing it.
Right, and see, this has the same, like, strange, this is a mode 2 heli. So like a mode 2 helicopter should still have a slider and not a spring return to center. So this has level altitude holding and all that stuff. And the last FlyWing we did, was it the FW250?
No, it was just the FW200.
200, okay.
Yes.
That thing was so surprisingly good, and yet we still had, did we not have one time when it flew away and crashed?
I don't know if it flew away, but I do think you kind of crashed it.
I can't remember if we were on camera for that.
You like flipped it.
Yeah.
And it.
But it was because I was flying it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that's where you want to be careful because these things are not cheap, folks. And so when you get into something like this, you need to be a little bit careful that you know what you're doing. This is obviously not a beginner aircraft. And that's part of the reason why the whole like self-flying thing is a little bit disturbing to me, because that is a big heli that is going to be like super powerful. I mean, look at the difference in size here between the transmitter. And this is actually a pretty small transmitter. Look at the size of it compared to my head.
Yeah, I know.
It's big. So I'm equally excited to see it fly and concerned that I'm not going to be able to handle it. So as a pilot, you need to be prepared to make tough decisions when you're not ready to get some help. So hopefully in this one, I won't need to get some help, but man, it looks so sweet.
It is pretty cool looking.
Can you imagine when that thing spins up, how noisy it's going to be? It's going to be cool. Okay, so normally we will spool them up and stuff inside, but like I'm just not ready to like crash into my stove and blow up the house.
Yeah,
so let's read the manual for once. Let's actually look at it and see if it's any good. This looks like an English manual. Okay, now this is version 3.0. Okay, what happened to versions 1 and 2? How many people died for those? Disclaimer, remote control, the remote control model is not a toy. Very true, guys. We don't normally point that out, but the truth is this is a high quality and pretty insane helicopter, okay? So strong winds, 10 meters per second is what they recommend below. So I have no clue what that means. Remain visual line of sight, warning. There's lots of warnings, okay? So don't chop yourself off, okay? We already figured this out. Oh, yes, look, the camera crew was wrong. Well, she wasn't wrong. She just wasn't right. I was right, yeah. See, that's correct. So basically the FlyWing goes up.
I knew it went up. I just didn't know if it mattered which one.
Okay, pull off the tail tube. Insert the tail tube. Why are you pulling it off? Oh, they're just showing how to take it off. Please do not touch your transmitter. It has been factory set. The setting is changed and correct. You will not be able to start the helicopter. Okay, so like you don't touch it. So like,
how do you fly?
Fly! Okay, I think what they mean is don't screw with it, Brian Phillips, RC.
Yeah, that's what they meant.
All right, so normal, yeah, so it's labeled the same in the book. Okay. Yeah, so they're talking about the up, down, left, right, all that normal crap. Okay? I'm like dying to see this thing fly. We have wind conditions that are reasonable. We should be able to fly this tonight. So we're gonna do that. Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Oh, full. It says full.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Do not plug in 3 to 4S at the same time. Okay. If you do that, there will be a fire. I'm just saying, because you will literally short out pins 3 and 4 on, well, pins 4 and 5 on the 4S pack. I know from experience. Not on this one, on a long time ago doing something else stupid. Hold the 2 power buttons at the same time for 2 seconds to turn on the transmitter. If the transmitter shows any warning, please flip the motor run switch to the top position. Motor off action. What? Motor off action? What the heck are they talking about?
Where are you reading?
Right there, starting transmitter.
Oh.
Installing the battery. So you have to press both at the same time? That's goofy. Hold on, I'm gonna try just one.
There's no batteries in it.
It doesn't work without batteries, and I can't even touch it. Looks like a, hello, welcome to Brian Phillips. That looks like such a face.
Take over the world.
Okay, all right. Chat GPT, put the batteries in. Thank you, Chat GPT. Okay, so camera crew is still in the dark on that. Somehow she's been living under a stone. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna press these buttons. Boop. Warning, place all switches in their up position. Up, 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 up. Look at that. So this is a fly sky, okay? So we've got movements here, movements here. It actually, the gimbals feel soft. They're a little softer than I want. Also, what the heck is that? Did I miss like an antenna I'm supposed to stick in there?
I'm watching you.
See that? I don't understand. Stop, run. Okay, nothing. Okay, normal. Something, something. Home, GPS, 3D, normal, invert. Okay, all seems pretty straightforward. We've got this. I want to wake that up. Let's see how you turn it off. I think you must have to press and hold. It's singing songs at us, folks. Okay, so then on the back, we've got 2 buttons. Ooh, I didn't press the buttons. Ooh, let's see if 1 power button works. I just want to buck the rules here. Nope. How about this one? Not looking promising. How about both? Wow. If you only have 1 hand. I feel like it's like almost discrimination. If you only have 1 hand and you're flying a heli, you're special.
That's really impressive.
Okay, listen. Nothing. Okay? So far, so good. So there's like no way to navigate menu structure. It says locked. It's a touchscreen!
What?
You gotta be kidding me. Reverse endpoints, trims. Okay, I'm going back out. They said do not touch it. Whoa, we have telemetry, RX voltage. That is amazing. I'm easily pleased here, obviously. Okay, so just moving through this. I want to see what else we have in the menu.
I can't believe that's a touchscreen.
I know, it's pretty cool, isn't it? How do you move? Oh, look at that. Rate expo switch, auxiliary 1 mix failsafe. Rate expo, sub trims, reverse. Okay, function. I was hoping I could see something that would just show me the outputs, you know, of the actual sticks. Okay, so it relocks automatically, shows the transmitter pack voltage. That is a pretty sophisticated transmitter for ready to fly. I know some of you guys are saying, but it's a Fly Sky. It's not very expensive to get those in the first place. I don't care. It feels good. I have no problem. If things are cheap and they work well, I have no problem with them. We used Lemon RX forever. They were cheap and worked good. I have no problem with cheap stuff, okay? Some people think Spectrum stuff is cheap because they buy JR stuff and crazy things. So anyway, all right. You have to remember, I'm not near as crazy as some of these people that watch our channel from prison.
Well, okay.
All right, ready to fly. GPS mode, take off. Take mode 2 as an example. Okay. Oh, they put a comma there instead of a decimal or a period. All right, so turn the transmitter motor on. Okay, run. It looks like basically you're gonna take this into the GPS setting. Okay, and then you move the helicopter to the outdoors, begin outdoors, open environment without trees or buildings, and power and wait for the GPS setting. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so it's gonna go from like a red to a green, okay? Once that green, it knows. Once that green, it knows. Okay, then we're gonna unlock as shown in the figure. Okay, so you gotta unlock and arm it like you do on every helicopter or quad. And then basically, while the green light is flashing, turn the switch to run position. Okay, so stop to run. So while it's green, after it's armed, go to run, okay? So we wanna start and stop, and then go to run. No, I'm serious. Yeah. Start and stop, 6 down. Once it arms, down. Okay? Okay. Makes sense? Pretty straightforward stuff. Okay, we have normal, 0 fly, and 8 fly. We need to figure out what the heck that means. Obviously, invert is gonna allow us to flip it over. And I always like to flip it over and just do all sorts of fun things with it.
I'm guessing that it flies in a circle and it flies in an 8, a figure 8. Because the other one we have is like
you're right. That's right. It's a heart, and it was supposed to go in like some configuration, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to find out what direction. Where do I fall in the 8? I'm in the middle of the overlap. Okay, so then unlock takeoff manual mode. Dial the motor run switch up to stop. Dial the motors. What the heck? This is just Chinese crap. Okay, move the helicopter to outdoors, open environment without trees and buildings. Boy, we just can't follow the instructions.
We can't.
Okay, so unlock it the same way. Home mode. Okay, so if you need to use the home mode, 1 key to return low power return. Please make sure the GPS satellite is good before takeoff. That's a good idea. No buildings or trees around the takeoff point. Smart return. Dial the switch to home. Why do they keep saying dial?
Flip. Flip would have been a better word, but.
To home. Where's home? Up here. Up at the top. Okay, so home, GPS, 3D. Okay? Ways to stop lower power. If you want to stop the propeller, or if you want to stop the low power return, please flick the switch to home, then flick the switch to GPS. You can manually control the helicopter after landing and manually turn off the motor. During this period, the helicopter will not return with low power until the helicopter is powered off. So like if you want to stop it, just land and then stop it. Okay. Very confusing. We'll have to figure it out. Holy shnikes, they have a lot of colors. Whoa. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay.
That'll be fun to look up while you're flying.
Yeah, like, hey, honey, go to page, whatever page. This one. Go to the page. Show the people there's no page numbers. This is actually a better than average Chinese manual, I must say. Okay, so it looks like 1 key aerobatics. 1 key to normal invert flight. FlyWing is designed 1 key switch normal. Invert mode for users. In the inverted mode, GPS can still fly at a fixed point and fixed altitude, providing users with a good aerobatic training performance. In manual mode, this function is invalid. Okay, fair enough. When using this function, the helicopter will start normal, invert according to the position. How the heck would you start inverted? You gonna hang it from the ceiling? Honey, hold it, yeah, no, it won't, no, just reach out, right, yeah, that's good, okay. You might need another camera crew if we do that. The return function and automatic route. Okay, figure 8 or circle is not, okay, so basically, please pay attention to the battery power. Yeah. If you want normal flight mode, you need to climb to above 10 meters above the ground again, so the switch is effective? What? Oh, in inverted state, you have to be about 10 meters, 30 feet above the ground. Is recommended to use 4S and set the constant speed throttle at more than 75. There are two modes, simple inverted mode and expert inverted mode. Simple inverted mode. Okay, this mode is suitable for novice, can quickly experience the fun of reverse flight. You mean inverted. It needs to be set in the parameter adjust software. When the reverse flight is turned on, the helicopter will automatically roll to inverted flight and hover at fixed point by GPS. At this time, the user's operation mode is the same as that of forward flight. If the throttle stick is pushed forward or pushed upward, the helicopter will climb upward. If the elevator stick is pushed forward, the helicopter will move forward. I didn't find that to be true on the last one we did. I felt like it was supposed to be based on what they said, but then I don't remember that happening. Oh, we have an inactivity warning here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and power this off. Okay, so expert inverted mode. This mode is suitable for manual stunt training operations, can be used for basic hovering operations and manual stunt assist by GPS. It needs to be set by parameter adjustment software. When the reverse flight switch is turned on, the helicopter will automatically roll to inverted flight and hover at a fixed point. At this time, the operation mode of the helicopter is same. I don't understand what the difference between those two. Oh, okay. So push the throttle stick upwards, the helicopter will descend. And so that's what I remember happening.
Okay.
So you can choose whichever mode you want, normal or inverse. It's so easy or professional. Okay. Okay, great. So basically there's a weird feature that will potentially invert one of the primary control axis on this helicopter, but you'll find out when you do it. So we have to calibrate the compass. Compass is easy to be disturbed by strong electrical fields, strong magnetic fields, and strong electromagnetic field. Okay, all right, which will lead to abnormal compass function. Okay, regular calibration do not calibrate if the area of strong magnet. Okay, whatever. This is fine. This is what the calibration procedure is. Why do they keep showing computer screens like we've got a computer going here?
Does this have some sort of like app?
They do. There is an app that you can use, okay? And the app will allow you to update the flight controller, which is right here. Check this out.
That's why we have that cable.
Yep, and I'm trying to figure out where they actually have the plug. Oh, there's a plug somewhere on here, camera crew. Let's see if we can find it while we're working together through this process. So normally our Unbox build, there it is. You stick it in the back. Right there. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, pretty sweet, guys. I'm excited to get this thing in the air. In fact, I'm so excited. We might be ready. Oh, look at this. Mode 1 to mode 2. Crap, I don't know which one it is. Does it say which one? Sticks mode. See this? Sticks mode. We better double check if this is in mode 2 because that'd be a fast way to the ground. Okay, so we're gonna press this.
Ooh, you're in mode 1.
Am I? Mm-hmm. Whoops. Throttle curve, mix, fail safe. Where do they say to go to? Stick mode. Where the heck is stick mode? I don't see stick mode. Maybe it's under system. There we go. Student mode, stick mode. It's on mode 2. Oh, they're saying that mode. That mode is 1. That's 2. That's 3D.
Oh, well, that's confusing.
Yeah, I'd say. Okay, so we are in mode 2 by default on ours. I can't guarantee you that yours is going to be in mode 2 by default. As usual, this is Brian Phillips, RC. We go through these things together because we all learn in different ways. And sometimes, yes, we do read manuals together. But I'm not gonna read no stinking manual on my own. That would be boring. 86% on the big charger, 16.1 volts over here. It's supposed to show, holy cow, feel that. That thing is hot as a, you know what.
Pretty toasty.
It is toastadelic. So over here, the battery is doing fine. We're at 5 amps. We've forced in about 2,300 milliamp hours. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in here. I'm just gonna crank it up. I'm just gonna go up a lot to let's go to 10. If it can't handle that, I don't trust it in this heli. Okay, that's only 2C. Boom. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, ooh, we just kicked up the Facebook data center. Okay, so folks, we love doing these reviews. Helicopters are especially the camera crew's favorite. I'm saying that facetiously because she is somewhat scared of them. And I don't blame her because, to be honest, I'm the one piloting these things. And it is one of the areas that I am still growing as a pilot. So please be nice. I try to do my best. I try to be as safe as possible on these things because I do actually take that pretty seriously. And helicopters are one of these areas where you do want to be kind of careful. If you are an expert, you can do everything you want with this. I'm sure it's going to be fine. If you're a novice, you need to be extra careful. Check your own skill levels before you get into something like this. That is a big heli, and it could potentially hurt you or somebody else. Mostly somebody else. Like if you hurt yourself, that's your own problem. If you hurt somebody else, well, actually, it's not just your problem. It's your loved one's problem. So you need to be careful what you're doing because hurting yourself is going to have consequences for the people around you and also for the people that care about you. So also, you need to, what? Yes?
Well, I was just going to say, like, because people comment and stuff, like, I have flown with you for a long time.
Yep.
And I trust you. But when you're flying airplanes, I've done it long enough that I can sort of predict what you're going to do.
She's
I
a
kind of
mind
know.
reader.
You've been married a long time. But
She
not as long
knows
as helis
what
have been
I'm
around.
thinking most of the time.
It just, helis are a different
They are.
thing. And
they
I just
get out
can't
of control
predict it
more
as easily.
immediately.
Yeah.
Airplanes, you know the trajectory of the aircraft, you know its basic heading, you can anticipate the direction that a plane might turn. And with helis, you know, that's not always as true. You can still kind of tell the basic direction, and they tend to make people more nervous because there are a lot of spinning parts that are big and it's more scary. I mean, there's a spinning prop on each one of these things, or more than one on each one of those things, but it's still a matter of, it's mind over matter with helis when you first get started. That is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get these things the same amount of attention, in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing as I'm talking.
Yeah.
When you start flying helis, you have to know where your skills are and then build from there. Don't be afraid to use auto leveling. It will get you in the air. Fly some circuits, take advantage of the technology. It will help a lot. I didn't have access to it, and I had a CP1 by Blade years ago, way before we did the channel, and I never took off and flew it any more than that and then landed. I didn't have a gyro. It was extremely difficult to fly. This thing will pretty much fly itself upside down without even looking at the sticks. That is unheard of. To do that takes a ton of skill without a flight controller. Okay, but here we are with flight controllers, and yet still things can go wrong. So you need to be respectful of this equipment. That is a big, huge rotor. That is a big, huge tail boom. That, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here that can whack you. So just be careful, give yourself some space. Make sure you read through the manual or watch the whole video. We actually did read most of the important stuff, but I would suggest that you go through the entire thing, read the actual warnings if you need them. And it's gonna give you probably a leg up on success. Also, one complaint so far I've already seen, and it's a very small complaint because I gotta say this. This thing comes ready for action. And by the way, we're already back down to 4 amps. So that means it's tapering down, okay? And if you go down here, we'll show you the internal resistance if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know if that's good, but it does look like we're really close. It's just sort of balancing out, trying to get this cell up to 4.2, okay? And it's gonna click off. You could tell it's really tapering it down. Now, if that were a smart battery, I'd be in love, but at the same time, you know, I've got smart batteries in 4S 5000 size class, so I could actually use a smart battery on this. I would just have to have an adapter that would get my large 5000 4S, which is right here, to fit properly. And look at that, it's really dang close on size. The only difference in size is the smart chip, and then of course this larger IC5. IC5s of course will adapt to XT60s. So without further ado, guys, keep an eye on your temperatures of your batteries as you're charging. That's one of the 2 points of danger in this hobby, generally props, or in this case rotors. And charging and discharging batteries. Either too fast discharging or too fast charging are the most vulnerable times for the chemistry in these lipos, the lithium polymers, okay? Lithium ion packs are a little bit less chemically reactive because they're a harder case, okay? These lipos come in soft cases to preserve a lower weight, okay? So if there's a problem, they have a tendency to puff, and that's generally when you want to think about getting rid of the battery and disposing of them safely, okay? Also, just make sure you're doing your best to follow the rules that you can follow so that you don't get thrown into prison. We do want to have viewership, but we prefer to not be the reason you're in prison. So seriously, be careful. There are some new rules that are coming out. Don't worry. There are things afoot that will help to make it an easier pill to swallow. I'm just saying because I know, but I can't talk in more detail because I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. And so if we know and I'm not freaking out, then you guys should trust me for once. If you want to help support our channel and buy one of these things for yourself, we will make sure to link to it in the video description down below. We really appreciate your patronage. We appreciate you guys smashing the like button. It helps us. We do long format. Long format is crushed in terms of recommendations on YouTube because retentions are almost impossible to keep as good on a long as you are on a short, okay? We put a lot of effort into these, as do people that are doing shorts, surely. But the thing is, we physically put more time into it so that you guys can get answers to your questions. Not much radio setup, admittedly, on this, but we do want to help you guys get out of the box and into the air. And if you like the way this product worked, or if you hate it, buy something else that we're offering that we've reviewed over the years, and you'll be helping to support the vendors that send us stuff so that we can review it for you on Brian Phillips RC, because I can't afford to buy all this stuff. I mean, that's just the God's honest truth. And to be frank, we have hundreds of aircraft. I could quit doing this tomorrow and I would have more planes than I could probably ever fly and be totally satisfied. We do it because we love the hobby. We want to grow the hobby. We want to help bring the latest and greatest here with no BS. And I mean, we try our very best to give you guys a holistic look at these products, but also be fair to the manufacturers in a way that's like, okay, well, stuff does go wrong, but we still show it. So hopefully you guys get that when you're watching our videos. And we're not going to come out here and pretend to be something we're not. We do really enjoy this stuff. We are, you know, good at seeing what's going on. We're good at seeing problems. We try to share them. But we also want to have good relationships with these companies. The best way you can help reward good companies is to buy the stuff from the links in the video description below. That also helps reward us for the time and effort that goes into the footage, which is significant anymore. So when you buy those things, and small commissions do get sent to us from them, you don't pay any extra. You can use your coupon codes, you can use whatever discounts, you can use your bucks or stored up discounts, whatever it is. You get to do it just like normal. They just use cookies to track that you came from our website. It's no big deal, or from YouTube. And then we get small commissions that come in. So that is how you support and fund this channel predominantly. There is some advertising revenue that comes from YouTube, but most of it comes from selling stuff, okay? There is no tricks. We try not to pull any quick ones on, I mean, we're not trying to trick anybody here. That's how we make this thing work. If it weren't for that, this probably would not be possible still because it's such a time commitment for Megan and I. But we do love doing it. So also we want to help stop one and dones, which is when you get this type of helicopter crashing immediately and say, I'm never going back to the hobby, which you could totally do. We also want to help people that are getting back into the hobby saying, you know, like, I don't even recognize this stuff. We're here for you. We'll help you. Okay. We want to get you from the box into the air, or from the computer screen and into the air, or from the front of the TV or the toilet, or wherever you watch your YouTube videos, out flying, preferably finish before you do that. And we want to appreciate our Patreons right now. So thank you for being a Patreon if you are. If you want to be one, we have links down below just under this stuff. And we usually try to link to the aircraft, the battery chosen, possibly a charger. This, in this case, is a ready to fly, so we'll link to the ready to fly package. Maybe there's a bind and fly or an ARF that you could get instead. And we'll just link to the results so you can pick what makes sense for your application, whether you want to put in your own Spectrum transmitter, or if you want to put in some fly sky stuff. It'll be linked down below, and we'll let you guys follow that. And generally speaking, if we have a master link, if you're trying to find something you're not sure like what it is yet, but you want to still try to give us credit for sending you to the companies we work with, just check for the master links. Master links are down below and you can go to those, and then that'll help us to get credit for that. Okay, these are common questions that we get all the time. We're not trying to beat you over the head with them, but then also PayPal one-time support. If you're in Europe and you can't support us buying from a particular website that we work with or whatever, this one you should be able to if you're in Europe or New Zealand or Australia or whatever. Most of them ship when they're coming from this particular brand, I believe. So check it out. If you get to the point where you're ready to buy, it will help us drastically. So please do so. And also, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications, click all so you get notified about all the new content. We have tons of it coming on Brian Phillips RC, and we hope that you guys will be here with us, watching us tear these things up. I cannot wait. Stay tuned, so much more coming from Brian Phillips RC. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this thing, it's huge. And yes, this thing comes apart in seconds, by the way. I'm just gonna do it right now. Look at this. You press that button, boom, tail boom is off. Get it? I'm gonna slide that back in. This thing comes out of the box and it goes together in just literally seconds, okay? So that's latched. And I wanna show you how nice it is to load the battery. This is the FlyWing FW450. Which I like to call these drone helis, and you'll see why in just mere moments. But I'm gonna pull this open and look at this. We got the flight controller here. We got a little XT30 sort of thing, except it's actually 3 plugs because it's an ESC output. But look at this battery. This is literally the way it comes. Okay, we charged 2 of them. 2 came with this, which is a 4S5000, okay? So watch how awesome this is. You gotta slide it in here and it just goes right into those grooves, snap. Wow. Okay, super awesome. And it comes with a FlySky transmitter, okay? So that's pretty sweet. So we're gonna see how this works. We're gonna lay this out here so the GPS can get initiated. The sun's just went down. I want the tail pointed at me and the wind is a little bit cross. So I would normally wanna take off into the wind with an aircraft, but since this is a heli, we should be good to go. Okay, so this thing literally plugs in here. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go back and watch the back. Okay, ready, camera crew? So I've got it in stop, and we're gonna look at, oh, look at all the dancing. Oh, it's thinking about things, okay? So we're in home, we're in normal, and we're in stop, okay? What we're doing is we're waiting for the GPS lights to come on. Let's show them where the GPS lights are. I don't know if we can see them from standing up. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this one cable is blocking our view of it. Oh, it's purple right now.
Where?
That's way up there.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so we're looking for green for full function, okay? It might take a second for things to happen. I'm gonna move the sticks. Nothing happening, that's good. I haven't armed it. I'm gonna put the sticks down and out. And still nothing because it hasn't actually armed, correct?
Correct, yep, it's still that like pinky purple color.
Yep, the pinky purple. Yep. You wanna step back, I'm gonna go to run.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go from stop to run. Sticks down, you're actually supposed to do it the other order. Like this, and I'm gonna go to GPS. Ooh, it's alive. Sticks down. Oh, okay, so we're gonna step a long ways back.
Yes, we are.
That is so cool. Camera crew, to my right. It's slowly building up. Okay, so now, that's where it is. We got a little bit of wind. Let's try to take off. Holy cow, that is awesome. That thing is big. That is so cool. Oh my goodness, guys. And it looks gorgeous, okay? So the green is super easy to see, very smooth controls. Now, what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna just cruise around and do nothing crazy. The camera crew is quite nervous about this one because it's so big. And the thing is, what she doesn't realize is what's sitting in our office right now is even bigger.
Oh man.
And yes, we have bigger ones coming even still. We just discussed it with the manufacturer yesterday for next year. And look at all the bugs, oh crap. There are literally bugs all around us. It's spring. Come, bugs. See your master. Go to your master. It's right there, please. So yeah, super easy flying, guys. Look at this, not even on the sticks right now. Look at that thing. It's just doing its thing. Now, I don't know if it's gonna go home just quite yet, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and just get this out here a little bit and just kind of show you what it does. Look how gorgeous that thing is. High visibility, color, and yes, that thing is super rock solid. It's very easy to fly. The tail moving up and down, don't let that change your mind, because really all it's doing is holding position. And that is really nice, guys. It just does what you do, and then it undoes what you don't want, just like that. It's an expert pilot, so you don't have to be, which is just super cool. So I'm turning around and going down into our little valley here. The GPS hasn't freaked out because we're below grade. Now I'm gonna go up a lot. Now you have to be up here to do the inverted controls. You have to be at 10 meters. When you let go, don't be surprised if it overcorrects. We've got wind. Show the people. As you can see, we've got some wind. So let's go fly over by the windsock. And this thing is aggressive about correction. So be mindful when you get close to the ground. We'll bring it up just over the horizon, and we're just gonna coordinate our turn here on this one. We're gonna do a little bit of yaw and a little bit of aileron input. So just a little bit on both, and you see how it kind of rolls nicely. When you let go, look how fast it corrects. This is a super nice flying heli. We're gonna go about 15 steps forward toward the runway, and that way the camera crew and I can get acclimated with this thing. She is still nervous, admittedly, but the thing is, I can tell you right now, I'm not, because this thing is rock solid. And if it starts going too crazy, we'll just run around the house. That is sweet. It's not even that loud.
It does look really amazing, actually.
So that's full stick input forward, and then a little bit of roll, and when you let go, it's just rock solid. Rock solid. It's got kind of that weird, like mosquito-y sort of correction to it. See, when I let go from full, oh, I love it. It's so cool, guys. Okay, so that's one thing we've come to appreciate. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna go up just a little bit more. I'm gonna go to home, okay? So I'm gonna go home. Let's see what happens. Now, I'm gonna be ready to go back to GPS. Camera crew is gonna be right here, and that way she can feel nice and safe. And we're just gonna let it do its thing. Camera crew, go back a lot so that you can see the horizon potentially at the same time. Give them spatial awareness so they can see where we are. I'm doing nothing, folks.
There we go.
I'm doing nothing. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just kind of cowering in fear over here by the gutter. People are like, get your mind out of the gutter. Sorry, I'm hiding behind it right now. So these things are getting big. It's like this big. How do we get whacked in the face with that thing? But this is so funny because when you watch somebody piloting a heli, you don't think, oh yeah, that's easy. Well, this one is. And yes, that thing is coming down nicely. I trust it at this altitude. That was a great landing too. Okay.
Wow.
So now watch. Stop. Okay? There's no reason to fear. That was cool. Now, we're not even done flying because look, we have, whoops, we actually have receiver values here too, which is sweet. Okay, so going back to GPS, sticks down and out. We're in the stop position. We're gonna go to run. Here we are. It's arming. Okay, so now we're gonna take back off. Camera crew, stop there. We can trust it a little bit more now, I think. And then I'm gonna hold the stick up, let it get up to speed. There we go. Okay, so we're up in the air. Stay there if you can. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it sit here and just give you a second to trust it, okay? So now what I wanna do is I wanna try to go up high enough to go to the invert, and then I'm just gonna be ready to flip it back, okay?
Okay.
So you ready?
Yep.
So I'm in run, I'm in normal, I'm gonna go to invert. Okay, let's see, maybe I'm not high enough. Gotta go to 10 meters. There's the invert. So still don't feel anything changing. I can't remember if you have to like do the stick thing like you did in the other one. So it's not changing. I'm in GPS. When I go to 3D, it's probably going to allow it to move. I want to see what happens when I go to 3D. Okay, so I went back I went back to GPS, but I got a little aggressive on me and it made me nervous because I wasn't sure what to expect. That's one thing you learn about these drone helis is that you don't get a lot of good information in the manuals. They tell you some things, but they aren't always so clear. So that's why you watch videos like mine. I'll teach you what to expect, and I'll do it in such a way that you don't have to risk your face for it. Awesome. That looks so sweet. And folks, listen, I'm not an amazing heli pilot, but I do know my way around helis. I'm gonna go up and over. You good? Mm-hmm. Oh, that looks so sweet. Just a little bit of throttle and a little bit of roll. I love the corrections. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to zero fly and see what happens. I wanna see where it flies. Oh yes, it's flying in a circle on its own. That is sweet. It's not anything too crazy.
Small circle.
But it's still cool. Now, I wanna go to figure 8, but I wanna get out a little bit, okay? So I'm out of that mode, I went to normal. I'm gonna just go ahead and coordinate over here. Thing that's really nice about this heli is you can see the dang thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, figure 8, guys. So, what I'm trying to convince you of is that if you get something like this, remember, you can still fly it in 3D mode and do all the crazy stuff you want to do. But you can also be not in fear for life, even though we still kind of are, because we never trust the Chinese stuff until we try it ourselves. But that is amazing and really cool. It is definitely going in a figure 8. Mm-hmm. It kind of struggled a little bit at the cross there, but that is so cool. Okay, back to normal. I'm gonna get that thing back over here, bring it down a little bit in altitude. And this is a big battery, okay guys? So I am super happy with the performance so far. It's building confidence by just watching it operate, okay? Also, the settings, they suggest that you don't get in and screw with them is what they say in a not so clear English way.
Yeah.
They say something weird.
Don't touch the control.
Don't touch the control. Well, you gotta touch the control to take off, although you barely have to, okay? Admittedly. Now, let's see if we can get the invert to work. Okay, I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna flip to 3D and just see what happens. See, I don't like that I have to be off the sticks to do that, folks, okay? So I'm gonna go back up. Okay, so I'm in 3D. Yep, there's normal and GPS. Okay, so it does let you tip it over, so that's good. And you can hear it slowly calm down. So, big problem is that you're not able to get to that stick very easy if you're a thumb controller like me. So I have to do it like with my mouth, okay? Okay. Okay, so now I'm in normal GPS mode, okay? So that was a pretty easy flip, guys. And I felt in control. You can hear it really calm down. And that was actually me doing it. It's a little bit hard to see, but I don't want to crash this thing immediately either, because it is a pretty robust and nice helicopter. And not only that, but it looks pretty stinking sweet right now, I would say, and impressive. Let's see if we can get a thumbnail. Are you good? Do you trust it?
Yeah.
I do too. That is right there, guys. And it is big. So that's pretty exciting. I love this. This is super cool. And I love the way it looks. I wish there was a little bit more distinction between left and right or up and down, because it's all kind of green. Mm-hmm. And the skids are all integral to the body, which is okay. It's not great for visibility, but this thing has the juice. Like, it will do all the stuff you want. I really want to get the invert to work though. I think the last time we did this, we had to like give a stick input as well, but we tried to read the instructions. They were super confusing. Okay, so there's invert. Okay, so normal, and then I'm gonna go to invert. I don't know what to do to get it to invert though.
You know how it said there were 2 different invert modes?
There are.
I wonder if we had to choose a mode somewhere before that switch would work.
You know what? That's right. I wonder if that's true. Let's go home. Let's go home. home.
I mean, I kind of assumed that maybe there was like a default invert mode, but.
Okay, now we never trust these things because we're trapped up against the wall. But truthfully, it's windy and it's doing okay. It's not crazy windy. The last heli we did was like insane windy.
Yeah.
Let's go up here and give them a different angle. And so as you guys can see, I mean, I'm doing nothing to the control right now.
Yes.
I'm just walking with it, not even looking. I'm listening, and that's all I'm doing. And the tail is toward us, ironically. But I'm curious what will happen if I move the sticks. Will it break out of a home landing? Nope, not really. It just keeps doing it, which is fair enough. So like if you got confused, you could just fly it and then it'll do what it's gonna do, but I don't know if that adjusts the home position or if it's just gonna slowly correct back.
Oh.
So that's a good thing to understand. So like if I gave it up, nope, it's not gonna go up. That's the only thing it won't do, okay? So now it's gonna unarm, we'll go to stop, and basically that's the function. So in order to change this mode, you would have to go to this, you have to press and hold it, click into this, there's system and function. So there's trainer mode, student mode, output mode, sticks mode, throttle mode, sticks adjustment, Bry sound, screen lock, factory reset, firmware, and then about the FS16S. So I wonder if I thought it was under trainer mode. Off, null. Okay, so switch, trainer mode. I don't think that's it actually. So we might need to pause and figure out what that is quick. Okay, so this is the manual, and we'll just kind of hover the screen here for a second. So as you can see, there is a computer connection that's on this. It uses a USB-C to USB-A connector, and the USB-C connection is on the back of the flight controller. So we're not gonna probably be able to flip it over right now, but I wanna fly it more because it sure seems like we have a lot of battery left unless this telemetry is not actually doing anything. But I am gonna go ahead and take back off. I'm gonna go GPS, down, the run once it starts, okay? So we're gonna try to arm it. And I'm not sure if it's gonna arm right now for some reason. I'm not sure, maybe the battery's dead. There's a lot of status lights on this flight controller. So I'm gonna go ahead and try one more time. We're in normal, we're in GPS, sticks down and over. Okay, now I'm gonna go to run, down and over, there we are. So you do have to be in run first. It tells you to do it in stop, which I don't know why you would be able to do it in stop. Okay, so now I'm gonna let it spool up for just a moment. We have a flashing green now, so we should still be okay. Now take off with the up, and that thing is eager and capable. And it looks absolutely fantastic. So I don't know if we're gonna have to show the people a little bit more sophisticated 3D stuff, but I would really like to get over here and do one move in 3D, and the camera crew and I are gonna put it all on the line real quick here. And what we'll do is camera crew is gonna go to my right side just so she's toward the building. I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna do one 3D maneuver, and then I'm gonna be ready to go into the GPS or home setting with my mouth. Yes, that sounds weird, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna go up to a higher altitude. I'm actually gonna turn sideways so I can kind of see what's happening. Boy, I just can't see right now. This is usually when you make a mistake, is when you say, watch this, and then you try to flip it over and you crash violently. You see the light under there? That's pretty sweet. Okay, so I'm beginning to think maybe I shouldn't do it right now just because I can't see good enough. You guys see what happens when you get up higher?
Yeah.
It disappears pretty quick. You can definitely hear what stick inputs you're giving it. It looks sweet. Okay, so just flying in circles. I'm just waiting for hesitation to tell me that it's gonna lose. It's gonna lose the battery enough that it needs to come home. Let's just bring it down here. And guys, it is windy right now. Like, it's actually windy. So you may not wanna fly this way. You may wanna fly a more 3D style heli. I can definitely tell you this, when I compare this up against some of the competitive brand offerings, and when you consider it against like the 330S, for example, you're flying that. This thing is being flown by the controller, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a different thing. I think you're gonna have a harder time learning to fly a helicopter with this than you will with something that's more of like an AS3X and safe sort of setup. But I must say, if you're a beginner and you wanna fly something that's more robust, so you've got maybe eyesight issues, this would be a lot easier to see and a lot more fun because you're not gonna be as scared. And I can tell you this right now, when you fly this, do not get the idea that you're gonna be a heli pilot, because you're not. It's totally the flight controller. The cool thing is you are technically flying a heli, but you're flying a heli with a robust flight controller. So I like to call them drone helis because they're basically drones that have a heli body, and I'm seeing some flashing lights. So I think I wanna go ahead and land. I wanna try landing it myself this time just to show you how it works. I don't usually land drone helis just because they like to correct like that. So I'm just gonna do this. It's very easy, very, very easy. And then down on the ground, stick down, and I'm going to the stop condition while holding the stick. So this helicopter has a lot going for it, folks. It's very easy to fly. It's got a huge battery. I don't even see any battery difference, so I have no idea how much juice we have left. I figured that this thing, and I'm trying to wake up the screen because there is a backlight, but it says RX, and I don't know if they mean like the actual receiver portion, which would be like out of the BEC, or if that is actually the flight pack. Again, one of the drawbacks of Chinese stuff is that the manuals don't always really articulate these things. But I must say, there is a flashing light, and it's flashing orange or red.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's show them the page in the manual. Camera crew, hold that, please. There is a page. They're not numbered. It's toward the end. See?
There we go.
So once you play with this a little bit, receiver has compass calibration. I don't know.
Well, green and yellow flash. Their second line out from the bottom, low battery power and GPS mode.
Huh, okay.
That's maybe what we were seeing.
So, and then the other thing is, I must say, when it comes time to fly a really sophisticated heli, I want to make sure that I have the best option, because I don't want to crash them because they're expensive. They are getting really expensive. But the thing is, if you want to have a good heli, don't cheap out and get junk, okay? You won't be happy. There are a lot of cheaper options in the helicopter realm that have fun characteristics that you can fly around your living room, and I'm not trying to poo-poo any of that. But if you want to get outside, I have found that the bigger ones are definitely more fun, okay? The smaller ones are hard to see. So I'm like, either make it small enough to fly inside or make it big enough to enjoy outside. So there is kind of a dead space in the middle for me. And that might just be me with my age and my eyesight characteristics. For you, it might be a different scenario. You might say, hey, I have really impeccably good eyesight. I can see a mile away and I have no problems flying a smaller heli. But just remember, you're up against Mother Nature. The wind, all the different environmental impacts are going to really change the performance of that aircraft. I love that this has a big battery. It's got a more standard size. You can put in just about anything you can fit into the Velcro on this. It's super easy to change the battery out. It's actually quite easy to break this thing down so you can ship it. Excuse me, not ship it so much, but put it into the case, which is really nice too. And boy, that case is heavy, guys.
It was.
So you've got something there, which is cool. And we have a spare battery, and we have a charger, and we have all that stuff right there. Also, we have decent gimbals on here. They're not maybe as good as like the NX8 or NX10 or anything like that. I would say that it's a far cry from those, but they feel good. And even though they give you good, robust control and the sticks feel fine, it's definitely not going to be your 400mm Warbird series, you know, junky gimbals. But at the end of the day, I would probably like to go in and fiddle with the throttle curve and the pitch curve, except that they specifically say not to because of the flight controller. For that reason, I'm not going to mess with it, okay? You might want to. And by the way, it's annoying when it gives you all those little inactivity things. You could probably change it. Again, I'm not gonna mess with it, but I wanna prove to you that this thing does what it says it does, but I don't wanna have to plug it into the computer to flip it upside down. So I would like to do a little bit more investigation. We might be able to do a daylight video with this too. So if you guys see another flight, you'll understand. At the end of the day, what we like to do on Brian Phillips RC is try to help get people that would normally just be a spectator to get behind the sticks and start learning to fly and really live it up, because it's fun to watch other people fly, but it's so much more immersive to do it yourself. Now, that being said, it's hard to fly, and anybody who tells you different is trying to sell you a toy, okay? Flying is a skill that takes a few years to get good at, and I would consider myself to be very average to not very good. And if you're a lot better pilot than me, I'm not surprised. But at the end of the day, we want you guys to be able to gauge whether or not this product is worth considering based on a lot of experience as an average pilot, or maybe a little bit subpar. We do fly a lot. I like flying fixed wing a lot, and I feel like I'm a lot better fixed wing pilot than I am heli pilot. And you guys have heard me say that a bunch of times. It doesn't mean I'm not getting better with practice, but if you decide you want to do this, it's super fulfilling, it's super rewarding, it's not easy. You can't pay to have it, you have to actually do it. And some things are just worth the work. So that being said, if you're looking for the easiest way, the best way is not always the easiest way, is what I'm saying. You have to actually work for it. Now, you can get a simulator and you can crash an electronic fake thing a million times, but for me as an adult man that's in charge of a family, that has a real career, that has real responsibilities and real stress and real expectations beating us down all the time, having something like this that we get to challenge ourselves to do is special and different, and it really kind of helps. It's like part of the spice of life. So if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth pursuing, you know? So sometimes it's cool to have an easy, fun toy that you get and you play with your kids with for a few hours. And then guess what happens to it? It usually ends up in a drawer somewhere and it doesn't get touched.
It gets broken.
Yep. Whereas if you get something like this is not for the kids. This is for you, okay?
Yeah.
So when you're considering spending this kind of money, it's pretty serious. So, I mean, for the average person. And there's people that are spending considerably more, by the way. So if you need to talk to your wife about it, just a reminder of that. But this thing is big, it's exciting. It's got a lot going on. It's technology packed. I like the way it looks. It's not perfect. I feel like for this kind of money, I'd like to be a little bit more of a pilot and a little bit less spectator. But at the same time, this is a great bridge for people that don't know how to fly, but sort of want to get there. It's a good way for you to stepping stone into flying with real consequences and real danger and real risk and some real skill. So if you want to fly this thing and you need the, you know, like the step in between, get yourself one of the $20 drones or $50 drones that we've reviewed on this channel. The controls are very similar. Let go of the sticks, it self-corrects. Tape a fake tail on the thing and fly it around like it's a helicopter for a few weeks. You will start to build the muscle memory you need. Or get a simulator. We have links to Real Flight. And by the way, Real Flight is not a video game. For those of you that are gonna bash Real Flight because it is not the best graphics and they haven't had a serious update for 10 years. Okay, I can't necessarily compete with all those details and facts, but what I am gonna say is this: I see Real Flight as a tool, not a toy.
Yep.
If you're playing it as a game, what are you doing? Get a real game.
Yeah.
A game that's a game that will waste time. Whereas if you're trying to learn to fly, it's a good tool. And yes, there's other simulators out there. We know about that. But I wanted to speak to that real briefly as I was talking about helis, because simulators will help get you in the air with less consequence. But for a grown adult that has real life beating us down every day, real consequences are built into our reality. And I'm wired to respond to real consequences and not simulators. If I fly simulator and crash, there is nothing that happens in my brain.
Yeah.
It's done. I move on immediately. If I crash this thing, there's pain attached to it. There's suffering. You might actually get hurt. You might break a building. You might break a window. You might crash into a car. Don't do those things, by the way, if you can avoid it. But the reality that could happen helps my brain to learn faster. And I'm not crazy. I'm not the first one that said stuff like this. So think that through when you're doing your considerations, and you might find that doing it for real is really where it's at. So guys, if you want to get one of these for yourself, I am going to pick it up. That thing is so cool, and I am super glad that we have the opportunity several times a week to be bringing you guys all this cool, amazing product here, okay, on Brian Phillips RC. We love doing it. We hope we're helping the way that we have been told by people that gush online. You can't always listen to that because sometimes people are just trying to get something. But at the end of the day, we hope that we're having the positive impact that we think we are, and that is getting you off the seat and into the air, or getting it out of the box and getting you into the air. And look how easy it is to pull this battery out. Look how easy this is. Amazing. I literally am doing this by myself, one-handed, super amazing. Oh, and by the way, there's 2 power buttons on here, and you do have to press both of them. That's a little weird, but I'll take it.
It worked.
And by the way, I gotta say, one of the best transmitters we've had in a ready-to-fly package that we've ever seen.
Definitely.
Okay. Super easy unload on the battery right here. We're literally doing it with the transmitter in our pack. Would you hold it and tell them if it's puffed?
Nope.
Okay,
Not
so
puffed.
we're good.
Not even warm.
And look how big this is, guys. Look at this. It goes from my waist to my face. That's big, and we're getting bigger every year with our helis. So even though I feel like I'm not getting somewhere, I am, and you can be too. So guys, don't cut yourself short. Don't forget to live a little. Everybody else in your life, you're taking care of them. Take care of yourself on something like this if you're into it. And if you hate this thing and you hate helicopters and you're like, I wish you'd review an e-bike, you don't worry, we'll do that too. I wish he'd review a weed whacker. You know, there's 3 of you out there. Thank you guys. Then just stay tuned. We've got more. And there's so much more, in fact. I can't even tell you about it on Brian Phillips RC. So don't forget to click the bell when you're subscribing. Click all so you get notified of all of our different videos. And if you can't find the video you're looking for, check out brianphillipsrc.com, and you can check out links to all the different stuff organized by manufacturer. And we're working on links by style and type, so it's easier for you to find it, because we have like 1,700 plus videos right now on Brian Phillips RC.
It's hard for us to find them sometimes.
It is, that's right. And so don't feel bad if you're struggling. Just click my little baby face, little circle from like a million years ago, and then you can go to the About tab, and you can send us emails if you have business cooperation you want to work with us on. You can click the search bar there, and you can search there too, but really the easiest thing is to go to playlists and look through our playlist directly. We try our best to word searchability, make everything easy to find. So also, if you want to help support us financially, buy these things from the links in the video description below. That is the #1 way you can put money in our pockets, and you don't have to do it. These guys do it. They do it. The others do it. And we're supporting the ecosystem of RC, which is at the end of the day what we want to do. We want to grow the hobby. We want to grow these brands. We want to grow the good ones. And we want to help to crush the garbage. Because at the end of the day, being truthful is the best way for us to serve you in the audience and the manufacturers that are bringing quality products to you, the audience. So I don't know if you figured this out, but it's all about you guys at home watching these videos and trying to serve you guys at the end of the day. These things are fantastic, super fun, and we hope you guys will get one. Check it out, links in the description down below. Thanks for watching. Okay folks, so we're about to do the Unbox build radio setup, but just wanted to show you real quick what we consumed out of that battery. Look at that, 40% left, are you kidding me?
3.8.
So we flew that for a long time. So definitely that was good. 4S, a 5,000 milliamp hour pack, amazing performance, really fun, really easy to fly, and definitely worth considering if you guys are in the market. It's the FW450L. I don't know what the L stands for. I didn't realize there was an L in the model number. And definitely the ready to fly comes with this. If you decide not to do that, just keep in mind, this is the way they set everything up, through one cable. Okay, so they're using their iBus. So you could use a bus system, okay? and that's gonna go into the flight controller and mix all your channels. So super exciting stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned, we're gonna unbox, build, and radio set this next.